Welcome everyone to Beyond the Adventure. Today is the first episode of the second season of Adventure Wednesday, where I take you guys on the oldest auto road in the United States of America, which also happens to be home to the highest peak in the Northeast. Let's get started. Beginning this episode out here, I wanted to show you guys a quick preview of where we were heading for the day. Now here is the first time that I actually did a full-out intro into Adventure Wednesday, a full-on title intro into the series. Showed you guys some clips from the previous season. Anyways, picking this episode up here, we are actually driving right now, I believe, on 91 North at this point in time. Amanda is filming with me. Now, Mount Washington is the location that we are headed to in this episode here. It has an auto road, and like I said, it's the oldest auto road in the United States of America. Now, just going on the Wikipedia page, the Mount Washington Auto Road, originally the Mount Washington Carriage Road, is a 7.6 mile toll road that extends from New Hampshire Route 16 and Greens Grant, just north of Pinkham Notch, westward across Pinkham's Grant and Thompson and Meserve's Purchase to the summit of Mount Washington in the White Mountains of the U.S. state of New Hampshire. The road climbs 4,618 feet from an altitude of 1,527 feet at the bottom to 6,145 feet at the top, with an average gradient of 11.6. The road was completed and opened to the public in 1861. Now, Mount Washington Auto Road, I've gone to the top of this 3 times in my life. One was with this episode, once before was when I was younger, and another time when I was about 18 or 19. I just gotten out of high school, and myself and a friend of mine had driven all the way up to the top of Mount Washington on our motorcycles. It was a lot of fun. I can't say that many positive things about it. This place is absolutely awesome. It's extremely cheap to get in there compared to some of the other, attractions and, national parks and stuff like that, considering what you're getting. Now, when you go there and you're in a car, they used to have a radio station that you would listen to, and it was like a little history of the road. Now they give you a CD that you can put in your CD drive. If your car still has one, if you don't go off of a phone and auxiliary cord. Anyways, it gives you a brief history of the Mount Washington Auto Road, and if you put it on right when you're driving up and you do the appropriate speed limit, things are synced up along the way. Now, funny story, this is actually when I discovered that the CD player in my truck was stuck, so we got to listen to this tour of the Mount Washington Auto Road for about 6 days after we drove up there before I could actually get the CD out, and I couldn't switch over on the CD player to go to the radio, so we were stuck listening to the tour of the Mount Washington Auto Road for about 6 days. That's if we had the volume on in the truck. Anyways, like I said, Mount Washington is located in the White Mountains of New Hampshire. It is also where I brought you guys on Season 6 of Adventure Wednesday to the ice castles. The ice castles are located up near there. If you want to check that episode out, the link will be up here or down below in the description. Anyways, going to the Mount Washington Wikipedia page for the actual mountain itself. Very nice little quiet mountain town that you're driving through right here. I don't know the exact name of it, but we've driven through here a couple of times other than just, when we're heading up to Mount Washington. So, let's see. The coordinates, if you want to check this out, 44 degrees, 16 minutes, 13.8 seconds north by 71 degrees, 18 minutes, 11.7 seconds west. Or minutes and hours and minutes, rather, not seconds and minutes. Anyways, the first ascent that was first recorded was 1642, and the easiest route originally to get up there was hike, then ride the cog railway or drive via the Mount Washington Auto Road. The mountain is notorious for its erratic weather. On the afternoon of April 12, 1934, the Mount Washington Observatory recorded a wind speed of 231 miles an hour at the summit. This world record for the This held the world record for most of the 20th century and is still a world record for measured wind speeds not involved with a tropical cyclone or hurricane. The mountain is located in the presidential range of the White Mountains in the township of Sergeant's Purchase in Coos County, New Hampshire. While nearly the whole mountain is in the White Mountain National Forest, an area of 60.3 acres, surrounding and including the summit is occupied by Mount Washington State Park. There's also the Cog Railway, which exists up there, that is Something that I believe the first time I went up there, we actually rode the railway to the top, if I remember correctly, and then the second time I went up was on the motorcycle. But it is a very well-maintained park, very well-maintained road. Here we are driving through the trees, and if memory serves me correctly, the iPhone had overheated when I was recording going up here, so there was like a quick 10-second gap that gets skipped out on the footage. And we are progressing our way up the mountain. As you can see here, things are still nice, lush, and green. You can see all the trees around, everything is in full swing. I believe when we originally went up here, it was towards the end of August. If I go to my channel, I can probably pull up the exact original air date of this episode. I should have had that ready beforehand. My apologies, folks. So when you're going up or down the mountain, I believe it is the people going up the mountain have the right of way, so those coming down the mountain must yield or pull off to the side if the road is too narrow. As you can see here, we're just starting to break through the treetops. There aren't too many greens such as maple or oak up here anymore. It's mostly pine trees, and now there's pretty much no pine trees. The pine trees that are around are extremely short, and in I don't know, about 15 or 20 seconds, you're going to see the pavement actually ends, and there is a large strip of the mountain road, of the auto road, that is not paved. It is just dirt, it is gravel. I think we're on it right now, actually. No, we're still on pavement. It's very dirty, but it kind of looked like gravel for a second there. Here we are on the gravel part of the road now. Maybe it is the other way around. Maybe the people, yes, the people going up have to yield to the people going down. That's why I am pulling over to the side there. So the people coming down the mountain have the right of way. The people going up must pull over to the side. Like I said, folks, there's no guardrails here. This is a pretty far drop if you were to veer off the road, if you were to not be paying attention and texting while driving. That would definitely be your demise. Now, you see up here, there's pretty much no trees at all. It's just all rock and bushes and shrubs and things like that. Now, a lot of these corners are very, very tight. Some people, as you can see, are definitely coming down a little bit quicker than they should be. But it is just an awesome view. Amanda was freaking out about it because you would look over the side of the car and you're just looking straight down the side of the mountain. Let me see if I can pull up the episode with the original air date. I believe it was the end of September. Okay, no, sorry. The original publication date, the original date this was published, was August 31st, 2016. So that was actually 2 years ago, a couple weeks back there. So here we are. So you have this little stretch where it is not paved, and then it goes back to some more pavement. There's a couple little areas where you can pull off to the side. And like I said, this view is just awesome. You're traveling up through the clouds on your way up to the top of the mountain. Now, when I went up here last time, they were working on the gift shop, and they have a little lunch area and a museum, and they were expanding it. This time we had gone up, they had finished everything. They have a new a deck that you can walk out on and look at all different corners, and they have little placards that explain what you're looking at. They also see a lot of these rocks set up on the side of the road that are stacked up, or on trails you'll see rocks that are stacked up, and that is because people, when they're in higher elevation such as this, there aren't any trees to leave markings or things like that for trails. So when they stack rocks up together like that, in a Jenga pattern, those are indicators to people on where a certain path is or which direction is what. Something that I never really understood until I was in the Boy Scouts or the Cub Scouts, one of the two, and we got informed what those were. Forgot if, I don't know, I think we were hiking somewhere and somebody started taking down the rocks and tried to rearrange it, and then the scout leader had explained to us what that was for. I don't know, I vaguely remember that. But anyways, here we are getting up to the top where the parking area is. Now, last time I had gone up here, there weren't these lower cutout parking lots there, but since that point in time, it's got extremely busy. As you can see right there from the shot before, there was a ski resort, ski slopes that were right in front of us there.
I don't blame her. There was a couple spots that were very, very tight there, as you can probably see in the video. But
and also, we were traveling up this in an F-150, so it's definitely not the smallest of vehicles to be going up there. But I did see 250s going up there as well, and like 2500s and stuff like that, so I wasn't too worried about that. There, all the way down at the bottom, that is the visitor center that we drove through, where the main gate is to enter the auto road. So we drove all the way from there up to the top. That is the cog railway, like I was telling you guys about. Pushes a cart all the way up the mountain and then goes all the way back down. Now you can buy a ticket to go there and come back on the railway, or when you're at the top you can buy a ticket to go down, and the price to get the ticket at the top to go down used to be more expensive than it would have been just to buy the whole one-way or round trip ticket there. As you can see there has been different buildings and stuff like that up here over time. There's different foundations and stuff like that. This is called the Tip Top House right here. A little bit of a oldie style tourist attraction. They got old wood-fired stoves in there, wood heated stoves. Have this cool old lantern. There's like a little dining area set up in there. All these, just old stuff that, and you think of it back in the day, if somebody wanted to bring something up to the top of this mountain, they had to carry it in their bag or tow a wagon up, which I can't see somebody doing, or they use a horse and a buggy to start moving stuff around here. Now there's actually, these are some beds and stuff in there, but there's actually a spot that used to be on the way where people could stop when they had a horse and a carriage, and they could, have the horse get some water, take a break and everything like that, and they would continue on their way up to the top of the mountain. I believe most people back in the day used to take the trip up to the top of this mountain in 2 days before, the modernized motorized vehicle came out. Here's that deck I was talking about right there. There's also the Mount Washington sign, which I'm sure if you have somebody or you know a family that's visited Mount Washington, a lot of people take a picture in front of the sign. That day we were there were probably about 50 people standing in line to take a picture in front of this little sign that says Mount Washington with the elevation on it. Absolutely love this shot of the 2 trains going down the mountain. I absolutely love trains, railways, everything to do with that, and seeing those working is just awesome. Seeing old technology like that still being used to this day is just awesome in my opinion. There is a weather observatory up there. Now, a lot of times on NECN, which is the New England Cable News Network, they show clips from the top of Mount Washington. Mount Washington is typically getting a snowstorm sometime around October, end of October, and the auto road is closed for just normal traffic from whenever the first snowstorm is all the way up until like the end of April, beginning of May. Sometime around then, whenever the snow has cleared, whenever they deem it passable, you can go on the website and check before you leave or attempt to go up there to see if there's any restrictions or anything like that. So for instance, today, while I'm filming this, right now there is a restriction where motorcycles can't travel up there because of the weather. Every other vehicle is allowed to go up to the top of the mountain, but motorcycles are on a hold till 11 a.m. this morning. Now that is, you guys are watching this at night, so that is at this point in time at 9:57, and in the morning they're holding them off for another hour before they can go up the mountain. Something very cool though is in the winter, I'm going to throw a picture up on the screen here, they have this thing called the snow coach, and this looks like a lot of fun. I have thought about doing this a couple of times, and in all honesty, I should have traveled this thing a few years ago because it was only like $150 for there's that sign I was telling you about with the highest wind speed ever recorded, April 12th, 1934. That wasn't a hurricane, there wasn't a tornado, there wasn't a cyclone, anything like that going on. Just a normal gust of wind went through there, and that was the highest recorded gust of wind. Just look at the clouds disappearing off on the horizon. So anyways, there's that snow coach I was telling you guys about, and when I was probably like 18 or 19 years old, it was like $150 to go up there for the day, and you'd leave the base station, go up to the top, they'd have like a little bag lunch or something like that, and you come back down in the van. Now for me to go up to there, it's about a 3.5 hour drive or so to go from Massachusetts, where I live, all the way up to the White Mountains of New Hampshire. And myself and Amanda went up there last season, like I was telling you guys, with the ice castles, and we did a couple things around there. There was frozen waterfalls and just a few different areas that we went to up here. we briefly looked into getting a ticket to go up the snow coach, to go up the auto road, and it was something like $500 per person to go up there. I understand that it cost a lot of money to put tracks on the trucks, and the initial cost of buying them is a lot more expensive than just buying a tire, and the wear and the tear on the vehicle, and the amount of money it must take the driver to get extreme weather certified or whatever you want to call it. But $500 for a trip up to the top of Mount Washington in the winter. I mean, for that much money, I could probably hop on a plane and I don't know, where could I fly for $500? I could easily go out to California, I'd say, from Massachusetts. Would I be able to make it over to England for less than $500? Probably. To me, it just seemed like an awful lot of money, and maybe if it was $250, $300 a person, that would be stretching it, because it is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. As you saw right there, those vehicles did not yield to myself coming down the mountain, so I had to pull over. A lot of people did not do that, which there's nobody up there marking off the road and saying, oh, these are the rules of the road, but you just expect other drivers to have common courtesy and everything like that. So I'm pulling over here. Maybe it is going down the mountain. I don't know, and I don't know where I would go to find out about that. Maybe on the website of Mount Washington Auto Road. Let's see if I can find it, because it almost looked like I was pulling over in a few spots when people were coming down, and now it looks like I'm pulling over in a few spots because people are going up. Either way, you can see right here we're actually going down the mountain, getting back into where the forests are and the pine trees are. In a few seconds you'll start seeing maple trees and stuff like that. Let's see if we can go to the website right here. Go to You Drive, because they have We Drive, You Drive. Okay, so seasonally available from early May and to October 21st is the actual day that they close it down, if the weather has permitted up to that point in time. Due to its remarkable location, this is off MountWashingtonAutoRoad.com. Due to its remarkable location, weather, and history, the Mount Washington Auto Road is unlike any other driving experience in the eastern United States. A trip up the auto road is a one-of-a-kind experience offering ever-changing weather extremes, panoramic views, and the opportunity to pass through 4 distinct climate zones as you climb to the highest peak in the Northeast. Okay, so right now, a car and its driver is $31 to drive up the auto road. A motorcycle is $17. I believe when I went up it was $15 or $12. Every passenger in the car that is an adult has to pay $9. So a car with your significant other, that is going to cost you $40 for you and the person that you're with to go up to the top of the mountain. Children 5 to 12 are $7 as passengers, because they wouldn't be driving the car. Anybody under 5 years old is free. They don't have anything I see for senior discounts or anything like that. You also get the This Car Climbed Mount Washington sticker, which is very cool, and there are no instructions or anything like that on here that I can see right now. I want to talk about this view of this absolutely gorgeous little mountain town. That is the police station right there. You see on the left-hand side of the street where the car had just turned, that taller building there. Very, very cool. But we had come down the mountain. We were actually staying in that town that night, because after this episode, we headed over to the next state over. If you guys know your states, you'll know exactly where we were headed after this. But anyways, guys, that is the end of the episode. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, and I will see everybody on Friday for Free for All Friday. Peace.